Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Rudo, Jesse, AJ coming at you as the Avs roster is basically solidified. We'll get into it with Bleed being waived, but not actually getting sent down. All of that stuff in a little bit. First, we have to do this again because there are still shitty people in hockey. So over the last couple of days, two things have come out. Now, to be perfectly clear, in Ian Cole's case, this is entirely allegations. There is nothing officially there yet. In the Bakersfield Condors case, there are felony charges going on. So, in Bakersfield, there was a coach
This one's hurt.
that has been charged with grooming and sexual involvement with a minor. And Ian Cole, there have been allegations out there of the same thing happening, though they aren't to the same level yet.
Aren't to the same level legally.
Legally,
Yeah,
sure.
The distinction, I think, is important.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
In terms of where the investigations are
Yeah,
at,
we don't
aren't
want
at the same
to
point.
go into degrees
For
of,
sure.
of
One,
severity.
there
It's
is
just-
one where someone has been charged with a felony, and there is
Yeah.
one where that has not happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a distinction.
Yeah, it's a distinction that matters for sure. But regardless, for the umpteenth time at this point, these things are coming out in relation to hockey and the NHL. And
Please stop.
just so stop, but also get it out there. Get it, all of it out there.
Yeah,
Get it out.
The part where we're saying stop is not stop
No-
coming
no more
forward,
going
stop
forward,
doing that,
yeah.
but stop doing this. Can the people in the hockey community stop doing this?
Well, and this is going to make it sound like I'm trying to deflect away from the hockey community, but I'm not. But we just started that Athlete A documentary on Netflix, which is about the U.S. gymnastics physician, all that stuff. And
Oh, you haven't finished it yet?
no, I haven't finished it yet.
Dude,
no.
it's brutal.
Yeah, so Hannah's seen it all the way through, and I didn't even know it was on Netflix. It was like the recommended banner there. I was like, "Whoa, have you seen this?" She's like, "Yeah, months ago. It's horrific.
Yeah.
We should watch.
It's
Like,
a
you need to
hard
watch it."
watch.
So, but you know what's so upsetting about all of this is, again, and this isn't me trying to distract from the hockey and what's going on with what we're talking about, but just in general, what to me is so upsetting that is coming to light more and more, and we talked about this a little bit just now before we got on the air, that this is one of the few good things I think that social media is like really helping with, is it's bringing a lot of this stuff to light. It's giving people a platform to be able to go and say, this is what happened. No. This is what is happening to me. This is what's happened to other people, whatever the situation
because before social media, it was like you tell the police.
Or
something
you
either
tell the
happens,
organization.
Something either happens or it doesn't.
Right.
Or, there were limited avenues.
Right, limited
And
avenues.
on social media, you can now just
and
pop on there
Yep.
and tell your story.
and what's so
To your limits.
Right. And what's so upsetting, I think, for me as someone who has been, sports person my whole life, is what we're finding is that this shit has been way too commonplace in sports because it's a small portion of society where it's a weird industry and there are major power imbalances with people who interact on a daily basis.
Yeah.
At a lot of, companies and stuff like that, the people with a ton of power typically don't mingle too much with, kind of regular everyday people. That is not the case in pro sports. People at the highest level interact with people at the lowest level, in terms of like ranking within the organizations every single day. And what is sickening and upsetting is that it's come to light more and more and more, thanks to social media and independent journalists and stuff like that, that this has been a huge problem in professional and organized sports for a long time because of the uniqueness of the industry. And that to me is the part that's the most upsetting when you're seeing all this. And that's why, like you guys are saying, you hope that this is a step towards this. Stop. Like, this just isn't, like, we can't have this happen anymore. In terms of it continuing to happen, what you need more of is like what we saw yesterday with Ian Cole. Again, this is still obviously being investigated and all that, and we'll keep reiterating that. But this is someone who said, I have a story to tell, and I don't have to go talk to the Tampa Bay Lightning about it or the NHL or whatever. I can do something about it. I can say something about it. And that is I don't want to use the word good because there is nothing that's about this that's good, but that is the one thing where you're happy that victims and survivors and stuff like that have somewhere they can go and they'll be taken seriously.
It could be worse for sure.
Right.
Not that makes me feel sick, man.
Yeah, it's
I
awful.
agree.
Ever since yesterday, it was the first thing I saw when I woke up, and it was just like, bam!
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. And it just, Cole was a dude that was always well thought of when he was here. And every, Ian Cole memory that I have now feels gross.
Yeah.
And I just...
And again, without getting too far into the Ian Cole stuff, we will eventually once
there's enough information
once
out
we
there
feel like
to
it's the right time. We will absolutely tackle it. But to me, AJ, the most upsetting part is just forget who. It's just the fact that this is possible in a community, hockey, sports, however you want to phrase it. It's just upsetting that this is something that, again...
It's not... Yeah, right. It's not that just... It's just possible that this is a continuing thing. We're addressing multiple counts of things like this now, and it's like...
Yeah. Forget that it was Ian Cole. The fact that story came out yesterday at all about any NHL player, it sucks. You want to believe that, that type of stuff isn't true. It can't happen. But what we've learned more and more,
it can and it does.
Can't happen. It does. And that's the upsetting part. And so yeah, I hopefully as the more stuff about the Ian Cole situation comes out, whether it be confirming everything that we saw or whatever, we will talk about it. And it's not something we look forward to talking about. But look, I'm a huge believer that you have to. Otherwise, outrage is just outrage for the sake of being outraged, right? You have to talk about it. You have to confront it. You have to do something about it.
The whole reason we're here is because no one was talking about it, right?
Right.
For decades, nobody talked about it. It got swept under the rug, and it kept happening.
100%,
so,
dude.
You gotta at least talk about it and try and make an effort to make things less bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's the shitty part is it's so bad that I can't even come up with the words. It's how do we make this less bad?
Yeah.
And again, we try not to shy away from that stuff. You guys, before I even got back, did that, and because if you don't confront it, then it is just people being mad for the sake of being mad, and then stuff continues to happen. So you got to talk about it. You got to confront it.
Dude, I feel awful about it. Just from my perspective and the time that I spent around him, one of the reasons why it's bothered me as much as it has is because I just feel like I propped up a predator. And obviously I don't know. I didn't know any of that stuff, right? But I don't know. For me, I feel sick for a lot of reasons today with this story. And I guess I just don't understand why people do this to each other. Why people think that this shit is okay and do this. I'm so over this part of the sport. I'm in just society. Obviously it's not limited to hockey. But
that's the sphere that we're closest to.
Can people just stop doing this to each other?
Yeah, and I mean, again, we don't have to get too far into this.
I am not well equipped emotionally to talk about this on a podcast in front of people.
But like I said, and we can move on.
This is awful.
We can move on after this, but the one thing I will say to you, again, like we were just talking about, you can't feel bad. You can't beat yourself up. If all that stuff is accurate, what that tells you more than anything else is this dude's a manipulator and he manipulates people, and that's why you heard all kinds of great stories about him in the room and the type of guy he was. Manipulators are very good at making people think they don't suck when really they're the worst ones in the room. So for you, AJ, you can't beat yourself up on it, man. Manipulators manipulate people for a reason, and there's a reason they get away with it for as long as they did. But let's move on. Let's
Yep, that's
For today, let's
have
move
a
on
very
for today.
natural segue.
I-
And talk
look-
about
Right.
waivers.
Let's move on for today. Let's not move on from this
It's-
in life, but
I would love to never have to talk about these things again.
Yeah.
Because the time we stop talking about it is the time that it's not happening anymore.
Yeah, we're not gonna shy away
Yeah.
from the conversation, as uncomfortable as I am with this. As long as these stories keep coming out, we'll keep addressing them.
Yep. So,
Even if there isn't much to say other than, hey, this is bad, please stop this. You have to keep that line shite on it. Otherwise,
the alternative
it
is,
just gets
hey,
swept
let it
under
happen.
the rug,
Yeah.
and you're part of enabling people to continue this.
Yep.
right.
And we're not. No, our corner of the world is not gonna be like that.
Yep. Agreed. So, is what it is on the Avalanche side of the world today. We did get some official cuts in Mikhail Maltsev and Wyatt Amat, neither of which are all that surprising.
Also have cleared waivers today, so
yeah.
that was not something that we were too concerned about. But
I had someone yesterday saying, like, do you think they're waiving them just to have the flexibility? I was like, yes, but I do think Maltsev gets sent down. So I felt a little vindicated today. I was like, nailed it. Nailed it.
Anton Bleed going on waivers definitely felt like this is
He's staying up.
when
Yeah.
injuries, when the injury issues
Helm
at
is
the
back.
very start of the year are done.
Yep.
Bleed is probably the guy to go, and Sedlak is probably now the guy that sticks.
Yep.
Because, so I've had to explain this a couple of times to people, for people that don't know how the waiver system works. You can waive a guy if he goes unclaimed, then you have the flexibility. You can keep him on the AHL team. You can send him down. You can keep him on the NHL team. He can play in games freely. It's not the end.
It is.
If a guy gets waived and unclaimed, it's not necessarily the end. Now, it was for a guy like Nate Gennon.
Yep.
Back in the day when he got waived and sent down, that was the end for him. And I'll tell you, as pro moment, he talked that day. Mm-hmm. He talked about it being the end of the ride and what that was like. And I will tell you that took some stones to stand there and answer those questions.
Yeah, no kidding.
But for purposes of today, Bleed, the Avs can keep him for the next 30 days. And then if he stays on the NHL roster, basically
He's cleared waiver for 30 days.
for 30 days, yes.
It's-
And then
or
and
10
then-
games, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
30 days or 10 games, and whichever is first. And then after those limits have passed, then he will have to go through waivers again if he's still up on the NHL club. So they've got 30 days where they can freely promote and demote as they want.
Yep.
But with Darren
No
Helm,
Sedlak on waivers,
On
at
waivers,
least to this point. And today is the 10th. Rosters are due
Yeah.
today.
yep. I actually thought they were even due last night.
Pretty good bet that Lucas Sedlak is home free.
Yep, is on that opening night roster. Darren Helm, he's been in red, but he's been skating with the team, going through practice.
Yeah.
So that to me is Anton Bleed's replacement here in 2-3 weeks.
And this is again where they open Wednesday and then they play Thursday and then they have 3 days off. Yeah. So this could just easily be he plays 2 games and then
They pick up
Helm
Helm
is-
on the way to Minnesota.
Helm is
Yeah.
good and then they're off.
And honestly, I really do, and this is really small, and maybe this is going to be a little homerish, but like, I kind of love that they did the business that way, because we've talked about it on shows where right now there's so many guys getting pushed through waivers that it's a little bit easier to. If it's a guy that you think might get claimed, if you wanted to have him around, if you wait a week and suddenly he's the only guy on waivers that day, might garner a little bit more attention. There were definitely some better names than Anton Bleed on that waiver wire yesterday.
And that's why I think 5 guys got claimed league-wide.
Yep.
5 guys.
Which is a big number. So honestly, the Avs, obviously Jared Bednar really likes Anton Bleed. Like, all of our jokes and all that stuff aside, like, obviously they like him. They want to have him here. This is just, to me, another teeny tiny little, like, this front office it's just good bits of business after good bits of business. And this is another one where push him through with everyone else. We've got our flexibility for the next 30 days. We're not going to lose this guy.
Yep.
I just like it.
Yep. It's solid and intelligent from their side for sure. That
Yeah.
they have managed their pieces. Even going through, they got all the guys they wanted through waivers.
Yep.
They didn't have the money for Nick Foligno.
Yep.
That's a basic math problem that you just failed.
continuing through that news, then
Like Mike Riley would have been a great fit for the Avs as a seventh defenseman, but he makes $3 million.
Right.
They don't have $3 million.
Yeah.
they've got like 1.8 or something.
Yeah, and do they though?
I mean, not really.
It really
but
depends on, because if you have Helm and you put him on the
then
IR,
you
he still
have
counts against your
900K
cap.
then really,
And then
not
you're
even
getting paper cut to
900K,
death because now you have Sedlak, now you have Bleed, now you have, do you hold an extra defenseman? No, I think they've gotten rid of everybody but McDermott, right?
Correct.
And so you're like, all those guys.
It adds up quick for sure.
All that adds up to. I'd have to relook, but I think they should be right in that. Right in the $1 million range right now?
Can you backdate injuries into preseason?
You can retroactively apply them, but it still doesn't help you with the cap.
Well, but you can put them on LTIR.
Well, LTIR is
I know we're not going
much larger commitment,
but I'm saying if how far can they backdate his injury into the off season? Because if they could backdate him 28 days, then LTIR isn't a commitment at all.
No, you can't. For LTIR, I don't believe you can do that at the start of the year.
That's what I assumed, but yeah.
There are different rules for LTIR off-season and in-season, and it's one of those things that breaks my brain every time I try and re-understand
there's
it.
800 different caveats to well, in this specific scenario, but anyway. The other news, Bowers and Kaut both made it through waivers. Not that that's all that surprising, but they are.
We were curious about
Avs.
the Kaut passing through because it was his first time.
Yep.
We were pretty comfortable with the idea that Bowers was going to make it through.
For sure. So, Avs roster more or less set.
Can I say something about Kaut?
You can.
I will say McDonald is still on the roster.
Yep.
For the record.
He's injured.
So they have
that's right.
even less money than I thought they did.
They have actually zero.
Yeah.
What about Kaut?
So just on Twitter, the day they waived him, all the people are like, see, they have no clue what they're doing. Blah, blah,
They're going to
blah.
lose him. And,
Right.
and this is why we talk about with the thing with waiver. And look, we were unsure with Kaut.
Yep.
Because it was his first time going through. He was a first-round pick, a relatively recent first-round pick.
Yeah.
And, he had shown some flashes here and there, and you just never know. And there are some... Let's be real here. There are some really bad fucking NHL teams this year.
Right. And my whole thing, and again, this isn't meant to be too much of a pile on to Kaut, but this should just the fact that he cleared waivers for the first time. 31 NHL teams and 31 scouting departments had a chance to pluck this guy for free.
Yeah.
And 31 teams said, "We're good." Should
Yeah,
tell you a little
it's
something.
It's not as simple as that, but yes.
But, right. But again, he's
in essence, that's what happens.
Right. He's a cheap player, semi-recent first-round pick, has shown decent in the AHL. There's something...
He's actually a pretty good AHL player.
Yeah. Both Greg Cronin and Jared Bednar, they haven't necessarily put their finger on it, but they've both said, we want him to take the next step.
Yeah.
And he's pushed his limits here. He needs to cross over that threshold to take the next step. And what him passing through, I genuinely did. I thought there was a 50-50 shot he got claimed because he's shown well in the AHL. He's had a couple small flashes in the NHL where it's this could be an NHL player. To me, that says there's a whole lot of other scouting departments saying we're not seeing the step in the same way that the Avs aren't. And to me, I thought it was just a little telling that he did make it through free and clear, given that the Flyers, the Coyotes, and the Blackhawks exist.
I do think it's a little more complicated than that.
Oh, it definitely is. But
certainly he hasn't done enough to be
if it was
an obvious NHLer. Right?
Bring a guy into an organization is different than he's on your NHL team.
Right.
It's like in baseball, taking a guy in the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He has to be on your MLB team the entire season, or he gets returned to the old team.
Yeah.
And so it's you're making a commitment here. When you claim a guy off waivers, you're making a commitment to at least give him a look and find an immediate place for him. A lot of teams don't love to do that. Mm-hmm. They get done with training camp. Yep. They've spent a month with this,
sorting
the guys,
out their roster as is,
figuring out the roster, and okay, well, we're going to take a look here. We're going to
throw
do that.
a wrench into that mix all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then you bring a guy in off waivers, and you're like,
and I guess,
all right, fresh start.
My point is more of just some of the mentions that I've gotten in the last 2 weeks. He's so clearly should be there. He should be on the roster. It's
Look,
obviously not that
I
clear.
think I feel the same way, but also
we also told you all 2 weeks ago it's going to be
Lucas
Belid and
was making the
Sedlak.
team.
Yeah, like
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting
so
because I really did. I thought it was a pretty serious coin flip if he was still with the Avs or not.
I want to talk about the Coyotes here.
yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We are brought to you by
Oh, it's this time.
Breckenridge Brewery, the
I don't have
official
a timer.
beer.
Normally, I have a timer somewhere.
We could if Yaya was not slacking. We'd have a timer, but Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. Go get yourself some. Hope you enjoyed the Hootenanny. If you didn't, you can still get it at your local liquor store. You can get it down here at the bar.
If you didn't, just go to Rudolph's house this weekend. It'll be a Hootenanny part 2.
Will it?
Yeah, we're going to have a big party at your house.
The more you know, I guess.
He doesn't know this yet.
Do you even know my address?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Do now.
Please don't say it on air.
It is.
Anyway.
It'd be like that time that Donald Trump read out Lindsey
Yeah.
Graham's phone number
Yeah.
at a rally. Oh my God, dude.
That was hilarious.
Anyway, go get yourself some Breck Brew.
It's a power move.
Check out the farmhouse if you want a dope venue. We're also brought to you by Game Time. You can go to the link down in the description to get your tickets to any major sporting event in the country, really. Colorado, of course, also. They have some of the best prices out there, up to 60% off at other websites. So you can download the Game Time app today. Get in on good Avs tickets. Get in on good... Someone got a Broncos ticket for like $70 last week?
Yeah.
That's insanely good price. Like, I can't even explain to you how good that is. So, yeah, go use the link in the description. Go over to Game Time. Helps us out a little bit, too, if you use the link. So, be sure to do that. All right. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We saw not only Avs get claimed, but a number of claims come in. You guys said it, 5 claims in total. One of them, quickly, the Coyotes claimed another goaltender in Connor Ingram because Jonas Johansson got hurt.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Don't know the severity of that.
Clearly severe enough to get another goaltender.
Well, and so this is what I wanted to talk about. Because... Okay, just double checking. If you're the Coyotes, you claim Jonas Johansson on waivers like immediately, right?
Yep.
And then you
watch a bunch of better goaltenders go
turn
over
around
on
and watch
waivers,
a bunch of
yeah.
goalies go on waivers, and you wait till the very end, and Connor Ingram goes on waivers.
Who is a highly
Connor Ingram is a guy who showed
wanted goaltender,
really
yeah.
well for the Preds in the postseason, and it is really, really weird that the Preds chose Kevin Lankinen over Connor Ingram.
Yep.
Given that they've had Ingram in their own system, he played well in the postseason. Why would you have Kevin Lankinen as the guy that you prefer as your backup to UC Saros over Ingram after what he did for you in the playoffs last year? Like, am I alone here in feeling like this is just bad management from the Preds?
And leaving room for you never know what that relationship is like behind the scenes. It sure seems like it from our view.
Well, and my other thing, too, is, I guess, partially just because I'm not
Sure.
overly familiar with Connor Ingram. So, like, I don't know. That
He's been a really good AHL player for most of his career. And then he had some issues for a few years there. He got suspended when he was a member of the Syracuse Crunch when he was in the Lightning organization. And then the Lightning moved him for basically nothing to Nashville. There was like this black cloud. And
a lot of questions off ice again.
Yeah, there were a lot of off ice questions about the guy, and then he went into, I believe, the recovery program, the NHL
that's
substance
right.
abuse.
That's right.
I don't know if it was substance.
Yeah,
abuse
I don't know if it was
necessarily,
substance
but
abuse.
It was
but
one
it
of their
was-
programs. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of their recovery programs, and then came back and was very good last year, and has been a good AHL goaltender. He's still young, and coming off the postseason performance. Kevin Lankinen,
Yeah,
it
definitely
seems
a
like
weird
if you were
choice.
going to try and pass one of those guys through waivers, Kevin Lankinen would have gone.
was Lankinen with them last year?
No, he was in Chicago.
Okay, all right, that's
yeah.
what I thought. And maybe that's what it is, because he kind of... I mean, like, I don't know if
He
necessarily know if you
had
can call it like
one
a
good
one.
stretch 2 years ago.
And has
Yeah,
been
with Minnesota,
bad
right?
since.
No, in Chicago. Kevin Lankinen had one good stretch in Chicago 2 years ago where he was good for like 2 months. And that's really been it.
Yep. He was not good last year.
Like, he was so brutally bad, one of the worst in the NHL, and did not show well. And the Preds had one of the worst backups last year in the NHL in Big Save Dave, and jettisoned him for Kevin Lankinen with Connor Ingram sitting right there.
Yeah.
From Arizona's perspective, Connor Ingram is a find.
Yeah.
Like, you're already curious to see what Karel Vejmelka does in year 2.
Yep.
You claimed Jonas Johansson. Jonas Johansson then subsequently got hurt. I don't know how serious that is. I wish one of our PHNX guys was watching so they could just tell us.
With Ingram in the fold, I would go ahead and assume whenever he's healthy, he's going back on waivers.
And so if JoJo goes back on waivers, the Avs have first right to reclaim him because it's within those 30 days.
Yep.
If they had to wait for the next 30-day cycle
Then it
for
would
him
be
to go on
clear.
waivers,
Yeah.
then it would be the order, the
Yep.
regular order. But because it would be within the first 30 days or whenever it ends up being that they send him down, the Avs will have first opportunity to claim him,
And
but
can
send him to
down.
the AHL, which is the big wrinkle when everybody keeps asking me on Twitter, "Oh, AJ, are the Avs going to claim another goalie?" No, because they would have to play him in the NHL. They'd have to
it's
keep him on the
JoJo.
NHL
Yeah.
roster. Unless in the case of Jonas Johansson getting re-waived by Arizona, the Avs can claim him and immediately send him because the team that waived a guy and lost him has that first right of claiming in that situation within that 30-day window.
Let's just further.
Can you still hear me?
It's just lilting.
This is just Yahir blowing
I'm
it.
telling you, man.
Yeah, just leave it Twitter.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, just do what you were doing earlier before I came and messed it up.
Yeah.
I tried to make his face.
Classic,
All good.
Classic Yahir.
Yeah,
messing
so
it up.
day to day, great. Day to day is the kind of thing where you can easily re-waive a guy and it's all good.
This though just does.
It's
Yaya
really
does
weird.
hate Shane Bowers.
It's really weird roster management from the Preds,
I
and
just-
it's
I
good,
don't-
smart management from Arizona.
Oh, I was gonna go back to the JoJo thing.
I want to talk more about this too.
Okay.
I didn't understand it when they did it.
Yeah, that I did
Yeah.
not get.
Yeah.
It's like there's going to be a huge flood of goalies with no disrespect to Jonas Johansson. Goalies with much better track records who've been much better in the NHL, aside from with one specific team in a small handful of games.
Yeah.
You knew that this
Behind
huge
the league's best defense.
right. You knew this influx of goaltenders coming through waivers was coming. We all thought it was weird when they claimed it to begin with, and we were like, oh, well, I guess they're kind of looking for low ceiling guys, whatever. And then they went and claimed one of the
Better
more promising
options,
backups.
yeah.
Yeah, trying to pass through waivers. I just don't
Claiming
get it.
Jonas Johansson could be as simple as, hey, we like this guy. He was available to us. We claimed him. And then if they claimed a guy that they like more, they can always just pass him
Send
back.
him back.
To,
Yeah, I guess.
And it doesn't cost them anything. There's no money. There's no asset. All it is 2 weeks of Jonas Johansson's life where he's like, well, I'm an Arizona Coyote now. And
Well, and again, my other thing is just like, it was just a weird claim. Because of when it came,
Yeah.
you knew that there were going to be 30 more goalies
and
to be waived.
we talked about it.
Right.
Like he was the first goal, basically the first goalie waived, that very first wave of goalie cuts. It was such a weird claim.
Right,
It
it
didn't
was
make any sense. And now you're like, well, Ingram is fine.
So I did want to look at the other side of this too.
Ingram's a great get for the Coyotes.
Oh yeah,
I think.
I think they should be pumped about that.
Yeah.
From the Avs side,
Between
it's all right.
Vejmelka and Ingram, like that's a
I guess I'm
tandem
not
for
as
a bad
sold
team.
on Ingram as everyone else, but it's fine.
Well, it's like we'll see how it goes.
Look, they're
but
still,
he's earned that.
They're
look.
still turbo
There's
tanking this
upside.
year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's not like it matters.
But
Yeah.
it's like this could be a guy that actually is part of when they're on the rise again here in 2 years when they actually want to try to win
Bedard, Matthews,
games.
Heller.
Logan Cooley.
yeah, Logan Cooley, yeah, all those guys.
On JoJo, very
Connor
quickly,
Geeky.
Yep.
you're the Avs. You're expecting him to come back on waivers. Is it even the right move to claim him back?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
So you don't have to have
Because-
Trent Miner as second in line if there's an injury.
Yeah, because you have a guy you've
Every team has a
re-signed
Trent
him.
Minor that deep.
You re-signed him.
Yeah, but you have the option to not.
You re-signed him for a reason. You
Right.
liked him. You wanted him to be part of the thing in the Eagles.
I get the Avs will do it. I understand they're gonna do it.
Yeah. No, I'm all about it.
Yeah, but we're telling you why. You asked why, and we're telling
correct.
you. And you're like, no, I hear that, but why?
I want to know why you guys would do it, not why the Avs would do it.
For all the same reasons.
the same- the same
You're on
reasons.
board.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
So
All right,
if
that's
there's
what
no
I want.
I don't mind Jonas Johansson as a third goaltender.
I don't mind JoJo either. I'm just curious if you would have preferred to see Annunen step into that role a little bit more effectively.
He might anyway.
I was going to say, yeah.
There's nothing that says he's not.
Right. I was going to say, and your worst case is, cool, you have Annunen now with the NHL club, so you have someone who's in a surefire AHL level goalie. You're still trying to win games at the AHL level. Like, that's the other thing that I think people forget sometimes. Like, that's also a hockey team that wants to win games and, like, has a coaching staff and a GM and all that shit. And I don't know. I would do it. He's a known quantity. You know him. You like him. And for me, this is a big year for Jussi Annunen. I want reps. I want reps out of Jussi Annunen. I want a lot of minutes. I want a lot of games. And if there's injuries, I just don't want him
There's no
chilling with the ass.
fear that JoJo's going to get in his way.
No.
Okay.
No, because
I think he'll start, but I think it'll be like Miska last year.
Sure. JoJo will be the tandem / backup guy.
yeah,
And Annunen the starter.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to feel that one out a little bit for you. We are brought to you by the American Raptors. You can go catch some rugby down at Infinity Park in Glendale. Tickets completely free when you go to AmericanRaptors.com. So go have a great night out at Infinity Park. Super awesome place. You got to check it out. They're a rugby team that have taken players from like all the other major sports at the highest levels, some ex-NFLers even. So they're very talented athletes that are moving into the rugby scene. They were 5-5 last year. So they're looking to get even better as it is. Considering they went 5-5 with a bunch of dudes who'd never played professional rugby before. Kind of crazy. Infinity Park, also
You're
the home
kinda crazy.
of the men's and women's 15 teams. Well, sure, but that's for other reasons. It's the best rugby in the country with the men and women's 15 teams. So you got to get down there, check it out. You can check out Colton Strickler, our DNVR rugby guy. Go follow them on Twitter. He's got 101 pods if you're new. He's got interviews with everyone and their mothers if you're around the scene.
Damn, he's got interviews with their moms too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That guy, that dirty dog.
We're also brought to you by Avaca. You can go to avaca.tv/DNVR today to get it. Again, that's evoca.tv/DNVR. Little birdie told me the Serbia trailer's dropping tonight. So
The documentary.
the documentary trailer dropping tonight. That's going to be exclusive to Avaca at first. So you're going to want to get to Avaca to watch that. Also, they just have a DNVR channel. You can watch us on Avaca.
You know who doesn't have a DNVR channel? Fubo.
Fubo doesn't have a DNVR channel. It's true. They don't have that. Can confirm.
anyone that's asked me, what do you think about the Fubo thing? I'm like, just do Avaca. Just do Avaca instead. Way cheaper.
It's way
Like
cheaper.
a third the cost.
Well, and it's like, I know that there are some like attachments or whatever that you need as well. The Avaca thing's not quite as straight up, but
It's actually
it's so
more
much
straight
cheaper.
up, I would say.
I'll say, yeah, you get the box, you plug it in, you don't have to download
It's
the
like
app.
normal cable.
Yeah.
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 Happy Bug, it's super simple to use.
Yaya's got it. And Yaya makes a lot of bad choices, but that's a great one.
what?
Don't do a lot of the things that Yaya does.
What are you
do
talking
that one.
about? He makes a lot of bad. I mean, outside of El Tri, but he was born into that.
I mean, my bad choice was just deciding to work with Jesse.
That's right.
That was the
That's right.
Yeah, I can't
Again-
imagine what other bad choices you'd be talking
Again,
about.
I didn't bring me in. That was a bad choice on Yaya's part.
Oh, it was Yaya that brought you in, huh?
Hey, let's just move on. The details of this story aren't important.
Moving.
You're looking forward to a Finland documentary, guys? Are we making a documentary and I don't know it?
AJ, I can't get into this.
Have an actual meltdown on the show.
Like, do you want to watch three people just slowly
Melt
Lose their
into
minds.
chairs.
transform into little rage monsters?
Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's solidify this a little bit. I think we kind of already touched on it, but are we expecting the opening night lineup? Lucas Sedlak, in for sure.
I'm saying yes. I'm saying
Yeah.
he plays.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
We're expecting
I mean,
Myers in for sure.
Yeah.
I'm expecting, my guess is that your centers on opening night are Nathan McKinnon, Alex Newhook, Ben Myers, Lucas Sedlak.
I'm with AJ. You got to fill. You got 3 spots you're filling on opening night. I think the 3 that are left I think they're all in the lineup.
All right, so there you go. You get the full cavalcade of a bottom line of Sedlak, Bleed, and what will be Cogliano most likely. Could be O'Connor, depending on how they shake it out. Whatever. But
Yeah. I think it'll be O'Connor. The fact that they sent Maltsev down to me says that Comfer will be ready, because there was 1 spot left open on the roster. If it's fully healthy coming into this season, there was 1 spot open. No Gabe Landeskog for the foreseeable future. Darren Helm likely not ready by opening night. So there's 3 spots. So to me, that's Myers, Bleed, Sedlak. Had Comfer not been able to go,
So
it would have been Maltsev.
Are you sure that math is right?
That's the math that Jared gave us last week. He said there was 1 up for grabs and then 2 injuries. JT's been skating in red. That's why I think Maltsev hung around an extra day. But when he was reassigned this morning, to me, that says JT's good to go.
so who else is injured though?
Helm and Landy.
And so that's 2 spots.
And then
though.
there was just
And
one
then there was the
left
one open one.
Yep, because of
Ish.
players they lost. Yeah, and that was when we penciled Ben Myers in at the end of last year.
Okay, so we're
right,
looking at
all
an
right.
opening night lineup where you have, let's just run through it to be thorough here.
Hold on. I got it. Because they had the lines broken out yesterday.
Perfect. We can actually give you a top 6 instead
Yeah,
of
I was going to say.
the top 6 guys and some.
So,
You can also send me the link and I can put it up on the show.
It's probably just a tweet.
yeah, it's just a tweet. So yesterday, it was Rantanen, McKinnon, Lehkonen, Nichushkin, Newhook, Rodriguez, O'Connor, Myers, Cogliano, Bleed, Comfer in red, and Sedlak.
So they could run Comfer on the 4th line too if he's 80% or whatever.
Right. So there's your 12. Now, obviously, if for some reason Darren Helm defies what they've been saying this whole time
Yeah.
and can go,
Probably Bleed.
Then it's
we're
probably
assuming,
Bleed, and-
sitting. Yeah.
yep, sitting out. And then if he is fully good to go, they just send him down. But again, the fact that they sent Maltsev down to me says Comfer's going to be good.
Yep.
And
Because right now they're 14-8-2. I know that this is right. I just looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
Counting McDermott as a D. They're 14-8-2.
wait, who's the extra 2? Oh, you're counting the injured guys.
Yes. I mean, total.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So
So Landy goes on IR,
Yep.
and then Comfer
That-
and Helm probably don't
I would say Comfer probably goes.
do you think?
on IR.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So
sorry.
it could be.
I thought you meant on
Do you think they consider putting Landy on LTIR?
Not unless they absolutely have to, because
Yeah.
you do not want.
Right. You want to be as close to the cap as
You
possible.
do not want, because that is a commitment for 24 days that you will not be accruing cap space.
Yep.
And I think with the Helm and Comfer injuries are temporary enough that they can get that down to 12 with Landy as
Sure.
the 13th guy on IR.
Yeah.
And that will give them an opportunity to accrue cap space as you get closer there. So I think if it can be avoided,
They will.
they will. If they absolutely have to, like if one more guy gets hurt,
They might
then
have to, yeah.
LTIR might just be a thing that they have to lean into, which sucks.
Quick side note, going back to Jonas Johansson, Craig Morgan did just text me back. It's day to day.
Yep.
Cool. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So
Expect
see.
to see him in an Eagles jersey fairly soon.
coming to the Colorado Eagles team near you. Yeah, but so look,
It
I
would
mean,
be weird if they didn't waive him, right? And they rolled with
Just had 3
Johansson,
goalies.
Pamelka, and Ingram, and we're just like, oh, we'll just figure it out.
see what happens. Yeah, that would be weird.
That would be weird to the point of detriment.
By the way, the Yaya hate is just me fucking with Yaya. Yeah. I was gonna say it's not the general Yaya hate. It's just me giving Yaya a hard time.
When did I become the nice one to Yaya? What happened?
Yeah.
What happened to last year?
Yeah, let's change that.
I
Eat
missed.
shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Blaze
I
is the
missed
one
last
that
year.
really goes hard on you. Yeah.
Honestly, Blaze is the one that it's hardest for me to get along with. Like, not the bad way. Like, he's the one that gives me the most shit out of everybody.
This is gonna turn to Yaya telling everyone what he really feels about
These-
people that work
These
here.
guys suck.
Actually, you know what? He
You know
does
what?
suck.
They got me into hockey, and now I'm just stuck with them.
No, I just hate him.
I kind of hate this now.
It is what it is. You're stuck.
They let me cover the Rapids all season, and now I have to actually go back and do this.
At least I get to be a part of a winning team. That's all I care about.
Right, that's right.
I do feel like the one thing about Avs coverage is that it's like they're going to win a lot of games this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
It literally gave me a nice little break. Felt to be like a loser again, and then I'm just like, yep, I got the Avs right behind me. It's all good.
Well, and then you have the World
To
Cup
be
coming
a
up, so
loser again.
you'll have fresh heartbreak on the way.
It gave me like it gave me energy for the Avs season again.
It does. What can we like see the Avs win a lot of games like 3-1, 4-1? There's like a 3-month stretch last year where it's like I have to clip 13 goals for every video.
How many 7-goal games did they have?
It was like
I think they finished with 9.
I was gonna say I thought it was 8 or 9.
It was like more than a dozen, 6+.
World Cup as a USA fan isn't going to be rough. It's going to be brief.
As a U.S. hater, U.S. national team hater, I love the U.S. Love you all.
As a U.S. hater.
Yeah,
You're from Mexico. You can't say that out loud.
I'm just gonna say I think the U.S. has a chance to either flame out in the group stage or they will go to the semifinals.
You think
They
Wow.
have.
You think
it's
they
one or the other?
There's no in between for them. It's
Pepe
either-
hasn't converted you?
Dude, I'm a big Pepe fan, especially just because of his name. But this team is so high variance because it's a lot of young kids that it can
Yeah.
be one or like it's one or the other.
I just made this exact argument on the PHNX show for Minnesota. Like, there's so much variance in how I see them between if the young guys hit, they could be the second in the Central. If wheels kind of fall off,
That's why they're my dark horse.
they could miss the playoffs. So, USA men's soccer, Minnesota Wild, same, but whoa, Jesus, oh my God, same, but different in my head. Did you guys hear that?
It's all right. We all stutter sometimes.
I had a stutter growing up, and
Really? I
every
didn't know
now
that.
and then it'll catch it. I'm usually like, the Avs. My dad used to come hit me in the back of the head when I get stuck on a word. Gah! Playfully.
Some casual child abuse stories. You know?
My dad used to just beat the hell out of me. When I
Just
feel
started,
like
this is
if
great.
it's not
spit it out.
I feel like you could get away with it where like it just seems like you couldn't think of the next word.
That's how I play it off. But in my head, I'm like,
barely got out of
playing it
that
off
loop.
again. Yeah. Got stuck on repeat there for a minute. And like it is like when you get stuck in that, you're like, I know the next word, I want the next word, but the just keeps coming out, and I just have to like stop. Yeah, you play it off.
Yep.
The Family Guy character who can't read and he's like fakes his way through it, and every time he's like, "You're playing a dangerous game." Like anytime he fakes his way out of it, that's me.
As long as it works, it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I don't think there's really a ton more to go over as far as the Avs are
I can't believe this has
concerned
already
today.
been 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I just looked
it's
at the
flown
clock. I was
by.
like,
You guys excited for the World Cup?
of hockey? Yes.
We're doing U.S. watch-alongs, by the way, for all that.
I probably won't be here, which sucks, man.
Oh man, I'm super busy all those days. I bet.
Oh, anything
Shoot.
but soccer.
Oh really?
Black Friday.
That's so
I do
cool.
love Black Friday.
I will be doing anything but that on Black
Ooh,
Friday.
yeah. Ooh, do you want to go shopping at the malls
Please,
instead?
get
Yeah,
me
I'm
outta
down.
here. Yeah.
Dude, I listened to my last drive up to Winnipeg. I listened to a podcast about the designing of malls. It was fascinating the way that they started out and the way that they evolved into this thing that was like trap the people.
I'm not being a dick when I say this. I'm sure that is super interesting.
It was.
Like,
It was an interesting podcast where now we listened to it and I kept telling Z, I was like, I've got to go back to the mall. I need to feel exploited by the man again. I need to.
Hannah and I, for years, we made it just like kind of our little Thanksgiving night. Like we would go to the mall like as part of like the Black Friday hype.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be there like when the doors open, but like there is something a little. There's like a weird psychology in there.
I
like
love
around
being part of that rush.
I do too.
I don't know what it is, but I kind of like it's like that scene in Mean Girls where they're all at the mall.
Yeah.
They're all like
The watering hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. That's 2 Mean Girls references in one calendar week, folks.
That's
on the DNVR Avalanche podcast.
I tell you, because October 3rd is 7 days ago, so in 1 week. So.
Oh, then that's 3 because I made the. Oh, I guess that was for the player previews.
Yeah, that was the player preview.
Still
counts.
That still counts. All right. But no, like there is something.
It was Polo Park. I like Polo Park.
There is something that I have always kind of found fun about, like that first like shopping. Like, it's just like holidays and like everyone's out. And
well, and back in the day,
and,
there actually used to be like a deal that you could actually like wander in and be like, oh hey, I wanted this thing.
Like Best Buy used to, if you went to Best Buy on Black Friday, like you could actually score some like
getting
crazy
stuff for like
deals.
free.
The great thing about Best Buy Black Friday deals is that their prices were just lowered to the rest of the market's prices, and so you felt like you were no longer getting taking advantage of. Yeah,
the TV that we had that Hannah actually just put in her craft room in our new house, 'cause it's kind of like it's a 50-inch LG that I got for like $160 on Black Friday at Best Buy several years ago, and it's like that was a great deal, and they don't make the deals like they used to anymore.
So they have those deals now, but it's like you're waiting in line, and then they come out before they open the doors. They're like, all right, we have 3 vouchers for this good deal, and that's it.
Dude, I remember...
They come out 2 days before Black Friday. It's like, fuck.
I remember standing in line at 6 a.m. outside of a Kmart.
Hell yeah.
To get a Nintendo GameCube when that system launched.
It's a very old-fashioned sentence.
And
everything about that.
And the dude comes outside, and he goes, we've got 8 units. All right?
What number? Oh, is that
and he starts handing them out, and he's like, are you guys together? Like, how many systems are you guys buying? Like, because, like my dad was there, but my one of my friends had also come with. Mm-hmm. And so it was like we were 6 and 7.
Nice.
And then and so we got in and they let us in, and it was like it was so weird because they let only the 8 of us, like the 8 people
were the chosen ones.
Yeah, and so because there were a couple of us with parents because we were kids, so it was like 13 people.
Yeah.
It was like the anti-Black Friday. Like they let 13 people into the store, walked them to the section
with the GameCube,
opened it up, pulled all the GameCubes out, and I was like, why did you put them in?
Right. Why did you do this to begin with?
Why did you put them in here if you knew that they were going to sell already? And so we got our GameCubes and we bought our games. NHL hits,
fucking
launch
right,
day
dude.
title for the Nintendo
Scott
GameCube.
Stevens on the cover.
Yep.
Is Chris Pronger on the next one, right?
Yep. So
and then I don't remember Pro.
I never played Pro.
Oh, it was bad.
My like gaming system midnight release story is the PS2, and I remember my mom took me to Walmart.
Nice.
Because like the GameStops, Circuit City, Best Buy, all that shit, the lines were around the building.
Yeah.
We went to Walmart. It was me, my mom, and like these 4 other dudes. And at midnight, the guy was even like, "Is this it? Like, is the line?" And we were like, "It's us." And same thing. He walks by there, and they still had him like on the dolly, like on the pallet. I'm like, see, this is how you do it.
Yeah, straight up.
And he took his bag. He's like, "Okay, there you guys go." And like, so in my head, I've always been like, go to Walmart for the midnight release. Nobody shows up to Walmart ever since the PS2.
Strangest find that I had in one of those situations was getting an Xbox at a Toys R Us.
Dude, I bought all of my N64 games from Toys R Us.
When the city of Houston was like sold out of Xboxes, my friend had punched his playing Halo 2 and broke it. And we spent all day driving around the city of Houston. You guys might not know this. Houston's really fucking big.
Big city. Big city.
And we found one at a Toys R Us, of all places, and got him a replacement Xbox.
Dude, I did all of my N64 video game shopping at Toys R Us. The one that is now a Total Wine near Park Meadows. And Hannah and I were in there a few weeks ago because we live in that area. And I said, Toys R Us grew up with us. I'm back in this same place now, but we're buying liquor and... I bought Mario Kart right over there. What's
the last thing that you guys stood in line, a midnight line for? Was it a movie or a game release or?
Mine's lame. It was an iPhone.
That fits.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't feel good about saying that, but it is what it is.
Actually stood in line at midnight because I do it all the time for like game releases, but that's just at home.
Yeah, I mean, actually went to a store and like stood in line because I know what mine is.
To be fair, the iPhone was like
really dumb.
Was like the 8, and I haven't done it since because now, you just pre-order online. But like that was the last thing I went and like.
I stood in line at Best Buy to buy a bunch of external hard drives because they were like 6 terabyte hard drives on sale for like $20.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I wish you wouldn't have said $20 because I was all ready to make fun of you for that, for being like such a nerd. But you said $20. It's like, well,
solid states or just regular?
Just regular.
Discs?
Just regular. This was before like solid state externals were like.
See, I feel like
I guess that's fair.
The standing in line at midnight isn't. It's like, what were you standing in line for that determined?
Mine was Diablo 3.
All right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the last one that I really remember.
D4 is coming out, so it's been a thing on my mind. D4 is coming out like the next like year or whatever, but like it's a thing that's just kind of been on my mind of like how much I miss that. That camaraderie of like showing up and standing in that big ass line with people where you're like, this is a thing that I care a lot about, and they care a lot about it, and they're there for the same reason.
Yeah.
The funny thing with the Diablo one was that it was the release day of like Max Payne 3 or something. And so when they were like, when GameStop opened and the guy was like, which ones of you guys are here for Diablo? And we were all,
yeah.
And then he was like, which ones of you guys here for Max Payne? And this guy goes, Max Payne! And it was so funny, man.
See, the ones that I really remember are like the consoles. Yeah, PS2, PS3, like the big ones like that. But to your point, like even the iPhone one, like I remember like me and my buddy did it and we were like, God, we feel like such losers for doing this. But like you said, you get there and it's like everyone else is there. People have chairs and all that stuff. It's like, all right, yeah.
Like people are like hyped up about it, man. Like it's a thing that you get excited for. Like it's not unlike an opening night where they're gonna raise banners where you're like, dude, you get to do this once.
Yeah.
It's
now
like the Avalanche playoffs when everybody stood in line around the DNVR bar.
Yeah. Right. The
that
one
was pretty sick too. People showing up at like 1:00.
There's two that I regret not doing. Going and waiting, and they're both food related. It was Chick-fil-A and then the Canes that opened in Highlands Ranch. Both of them. If you were the first,
no regrets on that.
Well, listen to the end of this. If you were one of the first
free
50 people, free for a year.
For a year
At both places. If you were one of the
I
first,
still don't regret it.
First 50 patrons
that's sick.
in.
That's sick.
Free Chick-fil-A and free Canes for 1 year.
That's one where you should try and paperclip your way through that. Like
right.
Like just keep trading up till you get into the first 50.
Right. Because like, I don't know.
Or you just fight all those people.
Yeah.
One gunshot to clear out that line real quick.
Yeah, not at anybody.
Yeah.
Just
it's a blank. It's fine.
But that's one
in
of
the
those,
air. God, this is the most American thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Those were each ones that, and I had a buddy actually who kind of like we went to high school together and we stayed in very loose contact. He hit the Chick-fil-A one. He got free Chick-fil-A for a year.
Sick. How often did he redeem it?
I think he used all because you get like
however many
365 free combos. Like that's your coupon, and I think he used up all of them.
Yeah, right. I couldn't. By the 100th combo, I'd be like, I can never eat this again.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I love Chick-fil-A. Right.
Yeah, I love free things.
Yeah.
That's where you
see.
Get
Those
me.
are the ones where it's just like, yeah, you wait in line once, and it's a gift that keeps on giving for 1 year.
Yeah, I signed up for a bunch of newspaper subscriptions for people I didn't like on a Black Friday once.
Yeah.
Just to have them sent a Sunday paper, and they have no idea where it came from. And I remember one of those people was Facebook friends with me and hit me up at the end of that year and was like, why the fuck did you subscribe to the Houston Chronicle for me? Because they had like called and were like, why is this showing up? And they were like, oh, there's a subscription registered to. And like, I was an idiot, so I used my real name.
Yeah, it happens. But like I said, So if there's a Chick-fil-A opening in this area, AJ and I will go do it for the content, and Rudo doesn't get any free coupons.
You know what's opening at the start of 2024 that I will be going out of my way to go to the opening of? Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
oh, that's
Buc-ee's.
right. That's right. Yep.
Up in Loveland.
I'll go with you.
See you guys there. I will. Yeah, that is a line I will fight my way through.
Do you like Whataburger?
No.
Okay, because there's one in Colorado Springs, and it annoys me that everything starts in Colorado Springs. Everything that new places, like, or not new, but like, you know, that they'll trial a new restaurant here, always starts in the Springs. It's like, why?
well-
Nobody's there.
All right.
Yeah.
We can get out of here for the day. We've clearly gone
I've
off the
enjoyed
rails.
this last part.
I mean, we had one show that one time where we spent 30 minutes whining about people that frustrated us.
Yeah,
And Megan, remember Megan didn't have an answer? She was like, oh, I've got to think of some.
I'm here for it, but
Cygnus,
also
no,
Can
not
she-
liking In-N-Out does not make you unique. That's not
Can- yeah,
an
that's-
original
that's
thought.
fairly common.
yeah.
Can Megan
honestly.
stop being so wholesome all the time?
I don't.
It's either like entirely wholesome or grasshopper genocide.
She's the U.S. men's soccer team. It's all or nothing.
On that note,
Oh wait, hold on. Megan realized something she didn't like in the comments.
She
Are you
can-
in this office still, Megan?
no way. She's gone.
Nope, she go.
Okay.
She can
tell
tell
us.
us live.
Automated
Yeah.
menus when you call customer service lines. Yeah. Yep. You know what? Speaking of the QR code menus, I hate that that's stuck around. Bring me a menu.
No, I think that's fine. I don't mind QR code menus.
Well, the QR codes are like they're all messed up. Sometimes they don't work. They don't load. They don't take you to the right page. Or
Oh,
they
this
drop-
has to open in your browser. Okay,
Right.
open browser, broken link.
Fix
Broken-
your shitty app then. That's
yeah, broken
kidding
link.
me?
Well, see, this is my thing. If it doesn't work, don't do it. Put it on the table when it works. If I scan it and it pulls the PDF menu up right away, I'm all about it. If I got to go to your website and then I got to find what I'm looking for,
Yeah, the easiest one that I ever had was when I went to Blue Pan Pizza.
yes, yep, theirs is
And
good.
we sat down and I opened up their QR and it just popped right up. And I was like, this feels like how this should always
Right,
go.
right.
Thank you for the $2 Spin King. Much appreciated.
The Springs is the best.
I don't know if I agree with that statement,
No.
but
It's better than Pueblo. It's not a high bar to clear.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, Pueblo is definitely the rung below. And yeah, I don't like when couples sit on the same side of the booth. Fight me over it.
Okay.
I hate it.
I like sitting next to Z.
Actually, confirmed Russell Wilson and Sierra are same side of the booth, people,
Okay.
which makes complete sense given how this first month and a half has gone.
I don't know. You know, with Z, I actually don't know that I have a preference on opposite or same. I know when we hold hands, we always like fight over it, and I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah. Are you-
I can't
yeah.
remember like which
think
how
I'm
it
the-
always ends
I'm the
up. going.
overhander.
Yeah.
I always end up defaulting because I want it one way, and then she all like it lasts for like 4 seconds, and then she's like, "Nope, it's got to be this way," and then well,
Yeah, it looked like you're dragging her
Yeah, I
out
was gonna say,
yelling her in the car.
that looks
Yeah.
like a potential kidnapping.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to do that.
if you're trying to end this podcast, press 1.
Why? We're having a good
If you're
time.
trying